It's 8 p.m. and here are our top stories. Residents at a Denver apartment building going weeks without a working elevator, leaving them stranded.
She feels like a prisoner. She feels trapped, like she doesn't have her freedom anymore.
One 79-year-old woman speaking out after a scary fall lands her in the hospital.
I'm absolutely terrified that if damages aren't fixed, that not only my grandma, but other people are going to be losing their loved ones.
Grim new details emerging in the Independence Day Parade massacre.
The injuries that I saw, those are wartime injuries, not victims at a parade.
Elaborate plots being unveiled as investigators uncover the lengths the gunman went to carry out the shooting.
He blended right in with everybody else as they were running around, almost as he was an innocent spectator as well.
Plus, a shooting breaks out at the scene of a motel fire in Aurora, turning this emergency into a barricade situation.
And renovations at the 16th Street Mall are ramping up. The new phase beginning today is bringing more construction with it.
Good evening and thank you for watching Denver 7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter.
I'm Danny New. We begin tonight with a follow-up on a story we brought you Saturday. A 79-year-old woman suing the management of her Denver apartment in Columbine Towers.
Yeah, she says she fell down concrete stairs while carrying up her groceries Sunday afternoon. Neither of the two elevators in the 15-story building have been working for more than 2 weeks.
So Rob Harris met with the woman today in her apartment, a place where she says that she now feels trapped. Rob?
Yeah, Danny, her name is Antonia Caballero. She is 79 years old. She lives on the 14th floor of the building, and she says at her age, she shouldn't have to climb that many flights of stairs. Sunday, she experienced what many in her building have been worried about for more than 2 weeks, a fall that left her seriously hurt. It was around 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon that Antonia Caballero says she returned to her home at Columbine Towers with groceries and started the climb to her 14th floor apartment.
She made it up to the 10th floor before she couldn't do it anymore. She fell down, she hit her head on the right side and lost consciousness, came back to when her neighbors were putting ice around her neck and water on her head. And she doesn't quite remember a lot of details on the way to the hospital.
Caballero's granddaughter, Tiffany Ward Esteras, joined us to help share her grandmother's story. She says she's very worried for her grandmother's health and safety.
I'm absolutely terrified that if security isn't upped and damages aren't fixed, that not only my grandma, but other people are going to be losing their loved ones.
Management of Columbine Towers told us Friday it had instructed its 24-hour security guards to help residents up and down the stairs. And a few residents we spoke to this weekend confirmed they have been helped in this way. But Caballero says Sunday afternoon, when she got back to the lobby from the grocery store, she was denied help.
No, that's not the truth. It's something they said, but they weren't honest about it. The day that she fell on the stairs, there were 2 security guards downstairs, and when she had mentioned to them that she needed help, they told her that it wasn't their job to help with bags or to assist, that they were there to take down names.
I reached out to property management and was told they had not received any reports of this incident yet, but that they take it seriously and will, quote, immediately commence diligent efforts to determine what in fact occurred and take appropriate action.
She's terrified. She feels like a prisoner in her own home.
Caballero now has an attorney representing her who tells us he plans to file a lawsuit in federal court in the coming days for violating the Fair Housing Act, which protects individuals living in government-subsidized housing. Now, late last week, management blamed supply chain issues for the slow repairs of the elevators, but they said they should be fixed this Friday, so we will follow up on that. Danny?
Thank you, Rob. And we are learning more tonight about the deadly shooting at a July 4th parade in Highland Park, Illinois. The suspect is now charged with 7 counts of first-degree murder, and authorities say there will be more charges coming. Investigators revealed the gunman had been planning the attack for weeks and that he purchased at least 5 firearms legally in Illinois, including that AR-15 style high-powered rifle. They allege he fired more than 70 rounds into the crowd, and one doctor who happened to be at the scene spoke about jumping in to help save lives.
I started a couple IVs. We helped move people to a staging area. I didn't do anything heroic. I did what anyone who has who has medical training would try to do.
When the rampage was over, authorities say he dumped the rifle, donned women's clothing that you just saw there to disguise himself, and then walked among the same people that he had just been shooting at. Authorities are still working to piece together a motive and a timeline, and in total 7 people were killed and more than 30 were taken to the hospital. And President Biden has ordered flags at half-staff in honor of the victims from the shooting, and Governor Jared Polis has followed, ordering flags lowered to half-staff through the end of the week.
Aurora police say the man they shot and killed at a motel earlier this afternoon was on parole for a murder conviction. Our cameras captured the shooting at the Ranger Motel on East Colfax. We've decided to pause the video before shots are fired, and we are blurring the man's face until he's been identified. In the video, you can see the man peeking out of the motel door several times. Minutes later, he starts running toward police with what appears to be two long objects in his hands. That's when police opened fire. Aurora Fire first reported a fire at the motel around 11 a.m. Then an hour later, it had turned into a barricade situation. The critical response team is handling the investigation.
A quadruple shooting in Denver is now being investigated as a homicide. Police say one of the victims, a man, died at the scene. The shooting happened last night in the South Platte neighborhood. Initially, police thought 3 people were shot, but a 4th victim later appeared at the hospital. Police have not yet said what led to the shooting.
Boulder County residents will have a chance to weigh in next month on 5 proposed gun control ordinances. Today, county commissioners introduced the ordinances and agreed to give the public hearing on August 2nd. The new ordinances include a ban on the sale of assault weapons, raising the age limit for buying a gun to 21 years old, and implementing a waiting period for purchasing a gun. During today's meeting, commissioners didn't have much discussion, instead leaving in-depth consideration for next month's hearing.
Well, the 16th Street Mall makeover is underway, and today the renovation project took another step forward. Construction has now expanded by 2 more blocks, Lawrence Street and Arapahoe Street. This endeavor will move the bus lanes next to each other to expand pedestrian walkways, and new trees are also going to be added as well. Now, right now, businesses are not being negatively impacted. They are expected to remain open during this work, which is projected to last 13 to 14 months.
Coming up on Denver 7 News at 8. Sounding the alarm on rising violence against transit workers.
Something that is commonplace. I hate to say that.
As cities recover from COVID-19, RTD says problems from the pandemic are spilling over on them.
People are dealing with a myriad of things that we know nothing about.
We've had some good rains in some areas from these storms and even better chances for rain tomorrow.
One wrestling coach wanting his players to grapple with the best, but finding funding is getting in the way.
More often than not, the kids on the wrestling team are the kids that, families just don't have the extra money for sports.
We show you how you can step up to help these students reach their professional dreams.
If I can remove as many barriers as possible for them, then they can achieve the things that maybe they didn't think they could otherwise.